operational stage appears at about age 11 or 12. Logical reasoning processes are applied to abstract ideas, as well as concrete objects and situations. Many capabilities essential for advanced reasoning in science and mathematics appear as well.
This is an example of mathematical reasoning before the age of 11. Okay, kids, so what do you think is the largest number that could exist?
1,000,000.
1,000.
Okay, kids, now what do you think is the smallest number that could exist?
0.
This is an example of mathematical reasoning above the age of 11. Okay, kids, what do you think is the largest number that can exist?
Infinity.
Now, what do you think is the smallest number that can exist?
-1,000,000.
Negative infinity.
Usually in the essence of puberty, when adolescents are within the formal operational stage, they begin to develop scientific reasoning abilities. It is typical for them to ask a series of questions and wonder why things are the way that they are. They are easily able to see cause and effect relationships. They begin to realize that because of this will happen. For example, two pendulums swing. Why does one swing back and forth quicker than the other? Does it have to do with the weight of the object swinging? Does it have to do with the length of the string holding the objects? Does it have to do with the force with which the object is pushed? Does it have to do with the height from which the object is initially released? All of these are critical thinking questions that an adolescent going through the formal operational stage may ask.
Children in the formal operational stage, though able to conceptualize hypotheticals and abstract ideas, may have some trouble with real-life application. This can be manifested in their problem-solving strategies. Earlier than this age, children may take a trial-and-error approach. If something doesn't work, they try again. In the formal operational stage, children are able to create methods before they problem-solve. However, solutions that children in this stage offer to real-world problems may not be applicable.
Betsy, do you understand what racism is?
I don't know. Maybe is it like when you make fun of someone because they're a different color than you?
It's where you treat others differently based on the color of their skin or what country they're from. Does that make sense?
Okay, I get it now. Like when black people had to use different bathrooms.
How do you think we can stop people from being racist?
Well, if you see a kid who's being made fun of because they're different, you should play with them more so other people won't make fun of them anymore. And we should just love each other.
Betsy's line of thinking is altruistic and certainly makes sense in her mind, but is not applicable to the real world because she doesn't understand factors that go into racism, like the communities people grow up in, preconceived notions, and stigmas that surround people of certain races that make others see them as dangerous or inferior. Her suggestion that we all just love each other would not work, though it seems to her that it would. Additionally, her suggestion of playing with a kid who is being made fun of is probably said from her heart, but when faced with a situation like that in real life, she may feel the pressure of her peers to fit in instead of helping another student. Let's look at another example.
My dad said that the heating bills are very expensive this winter.
I'm sorry to hear about that. What do you think should be done about keeping costs low?
We should just have a fireplace in every room. It doesn't cost anything to burn a fire. Or we could just wear warmer clothes all the time, so we don't have to use the heat.
Maggie wants to help solve the problem of her family's heating bill, but she doesn't have enough real-life experience to understand that it's impractical to have a fireplace in every room and also unnecessary. She also understands that her family wants to save money, but she does not take into account how much it would cost to install fireplaces all over her house. Her suggestion of wearing warm clothes is a little more practical. How about one more example to demonstrate real-life applications during the formal operational stage?
Betsy, in a lot of countries, there isn't much clean drinking water. People have to work with contaminated water or no water at all. How do you think we can fix this?
Well, sometimes there's offers online or through churches where you can donate money for people who don't have water. Or you could just go to those places and bring water money yourself and give it to those people.
It might be hard for people to actually travel with water, and it's probably more expensive to travel long distances to get people a bit of money to get clean water.
I guess that won't work then. We can do something else.
Betsy at first presented an idealistic solution to a problem with drinking water, but when it was explained to her that it was unrealistic, she was able to grasp the hypotheticals of the situation enough to see that her solution wouldn't work right.
All people will be faced with what is called a moral dilemma in their lives. People of different ages respond differently. A moral dilemma is a difficult circumstance in which, in order to help one person, you might end up hurting another person. Here's a story that includes a moral dilemma. A woman is dying of cancer, but there is one drug in the town that will be able to save her life. The woman's husband approaches the man who is selling the drug and realizes that the drug is far too expensive for him to purchase. He tries to negotiate with the druggist, but he won't budge. Later that night, the woman's husband breaks into the drugstore and steals the drug from the man. Is it okay to steal in this situation in order to save a life? This story was explained to the students, and they came up with different answers. One 11-year-old answered with a hypothetical situation, ultimately concluding that it was okay to steal because the woman's life was saved. He also stated that the druggist was wrong not to negotiate the price of the drug, because he knew that he was able to save a life with it, but he was not willing to do so unless he was paid.